Well, Katie's new album, In Winter, is out this Friday, and she's here now. And we saw a little bit of what we can expect in the album there. Because that's you working, because you went back home, you went to Georgia.
I did.
Yeah.
I went back to Georgia, because over in Georgia, we have a lot of choirs.
Right.
And Georgian traditional singing is actually on the UNESCO Intangible World Heritage or Cultural List.
Right.
And they take it really seriously. So over there, they have this very rich heritage in the music. They're so precise in their sound, and they're very detailed.
Right.
And what they really inspired in me was, I thought we could make a winter album together. And it's something that I felt like was missing from my record collection.
Right.
I wanted a record I could play from beginning to end that would make me feel warm and cozy, a bit like a Frank Sinatra record or a Johnny Cash record or Patsy Cline. You know, and some of the backing vocals that these great artists from the 50s and 60s used to have remind me of how the choir sing. And that's what we've tried to create with it.
That's a fantastic idea. In Winter, it looks beautiful. It's absolutely gorgeous.
We had a children's book illustrator do the front cover.
You can see it looks lovely. It looks absolutely beautiful. Because sometimes, you know, especially now in the era of downloading, you know, we don't really... I think we've lost a lot sometimes. I mean, I can remember LPs. And they were all, you know, they were all sometimes
I remember
posters.
Cassettes. Yeah, we had cassettes
of course,
back in Georgia.
Of course. But it must have been lovely to go back home. I mean, are you a massive star back in Georgia? You must be. I mean, you're a big
Georgia,
star.
it's 5 million population.
Right.
It's people that might not know it. It's next to Turkey.
Sure.
It's on the Black Sea, so it's beautiful, but very small population. And so, you know, having done so well over here.
Of course.
And the thing that they are quite gobsmacked by is that you know, Western music and records that get made here in the UK and in America, they rule the world in terms of the music business.
Of course.
And so we all grew up listening to music that came out of the UK and America. So for one of them to have done, I guess, what we did...
One of their own, of course.
Yeah, it's a bit daunting when I go back. They're very excited.
But that's great. That must have been so, so good. And especially working with these incredible women. I mean, you're right, the voices are absolutely beautiful. It's like angels singing.
And can you imagine 24 women sounding like one creature?
Incredible.
You know, and their conductor is amazing. She's very, she's almost so ferocious. You know, nothing goes unnoticed.
Oh, right, OK.
And so I quite like that level of discipline in a way. You know, because I think records and albums are incredible works of art, and I think they could be, you know, really, really to a very high level, sort of culturally and artistically. And I feel like they've kind of opened up that little door for me. And so I'm just exploring and trying stuff out.
It's so interesting that you're saying, you know, after all these years, you've got things to learn. We saw you recently at the memorial to Sir Terry Wogan, and I know it was very important for you to be there and to perform there, because he was a big supporter of yours, wasn't he?
You know what? I was so honoured to have been asked to have been there. I was just delighted, but of course it was a very moving event, and it started with his voice in the cathedral. They had snippets of, you know, the radio show that he used to do, and yeah, it was beautiful. And he had a huge influence on the start of my career. If it wasn't for him, I'm sure things wouldn't have turned out the way they did.
Because he played your music. Now, your lovely husband, he's not only a successful sportsman, he's also a musician as well, which must be great for the two of you. I mean, do you work together, write together?
We don't really work together in that way, because I think it would be quite strange if husband and wife did that in this environment.
He's incredibly handsome.
But I know I've got very lucky there.
You are, and I know everybody gets on about it, but you must, at some point when it's right, you must have babies. For the human race.
I hope so too. Well, has my mum rang you?
Is she always on at you?
Oh yeah, all the time, being Georgian. But they've got a gig on tonight, so I've got to go to their show in London, and they're on tour and they're working really hard.
Is he on his own, or is it with a band?
No, he's got a band called Toesland. And yeah, it's amazing to watch. You watch them doing it from, you know, in a different genre, in a different space.
That's fantastic. Katie, it's always a joy to see you. In Winter is out now?
This Friday.
This Friday it's out. Fantastic. And it's featuring that incredible women's choir. And it's a beautiful, it's like a perfect present. Absolutely gorgeous. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much for having me.
Great to see you. If you'd like to see even more great guests, then click here. There are plenty more fantastic interviews to come, so make sure that you subscribe.